Hey guys, I'm Dave Hayes and this is Hayes Tech and ROM Review. Welcome back. On this channel we cover tech, pretty much anything tech. And guess what I got my little grubs on? A Pixel 3 XL. So this is it, guys. We're going to go over everything there is to go over on this. It's going to be a long video, so guys, bear with me. You know, if you watch any of my videos, I'm very thorough. That's why my videos go long. If you guys don't like to watch long videos, I suggest watching somebody else's. I hate to see you go, but I mean, that's the way it is. I am going to edit it, but I am not going to edit anything out that I feel is going to be pertinent to you guys getting the knowledge you need about this device, because there are some awesome things about this phone, and there are some pretty not so awesome things about it. So when we come back, we're going to rip this baby apart. Not literally, just see what's in it. And not inside, you know, like, you know what I mean. And as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. You hit that notification icon to get a notification of my videos as soon as they're released. That way you don't miss any of them. Alright, this device has a Snapdragon 845 processor and 4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. It comes in both 64 gigabyte and 128 gigabyte internal storage. You are going to have to pay accordingly for that. It is $899 for the 64 gig and $999 for the 128 gigabyte versions. It also has an Adreno A650 GPU processor in it. It also has a 2915 milliamp battery in it. That's 90 milliamps less than the Pixel 2 XL. Now in my testing, I didn't notice much of a difference between the Pixel 2 XL and the Pixel 3 XL, although I will give a slight edge to my Pixel 2 XL. This isn't too bad, but again, the Pixel 2 XL definitely wins out on that. The device comes with a fingerprint reader. It has a power button and a volume button. There are only 2 buttons on the device. The SIM tray is located in an entirely different spot now. It comes right here. Sorry guys, it comes on this side. The device has a 12.2 megapixel rear-facing camera with autofocus plus dual pixel phase detection. It has optical and electronic image stabilization, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but this is something that I really need to talk about, and we'll talk about that in the pros and the cons in the end of the video. Alright, if you like the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL, then you'll be used to the look and feel of the new Pixel 3 and 3 XL. I'm going to be talking about the Pixel 3 XL and not the Pixel 3 in this video. There are not much differences between the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL. Basically, size-wise, they are identical almost. Now, this is a Pixel 2 XL. This is mine. This is my Panda. And as far as size comparisons go, you guys can see they are almost identical. We can also compare it to the Nexus 6. Here's the Nexus 6 right next to it. My favorite device of all time. I did want to talk about screens. Okay, I changed wallpaper just so you guys could see the difference in the display on this. The display on the Pixel 2 XL is much different. It's got about the same size chin, a little deeper header on it. Again, it does not have that big obnoxious notch in there, and I hate that notch. Now the Pixel 3 XL is a little bit longer. Again, the screen size on that is 6.3 inches diagonally. One thing that they changed also from the Pixel 2 XL to the 3 XL, where the Pixel 2 XL was made with an AMOLED screen. They went with an OLED type display on the Pixel 3 and 3 XL. Alright, the aspect ratio is 18.5 by 9 inches, and that is 2960 by 1440p, which comes in at 532 pixels per inch, or PPI. Now this device has a super high contrast ratio with HDR+ support, which means the screen on this device is very beautiful, and the viewing angles are perfect no matter what angle you look at it from, so it's great. One of the downfalls for that, again for me at least, is I have to have mine at 100% when I'm outside in a nice bright day, and it's still hard to see the screen, but that's what you get with an AMOLED or an OLED screen. Now if you had the LCD, the Super LCD screens they have out now on a lot of the devices, they are brilliant in the sunshine. They have outstanding color reproductions, but you just don't get those deep blacks that you get with an AMOLED or an OLED screen, and that's one of the main reasons I like AMOLED or OLED. You can also change the color in displays. If you go into the displays and you go to colors, you can change it from neutral to boosted and then to adaptive. But boosted is going to give you a more saturated look. Natural is going to give you more of the little bit of saturation, just like a Samsung device does on theirs. Now this is running Pi on it, so it does have quite a few features that Pi comes with. I've already went over these features in a lot of the ROM reviews that I did, but I will touch on a couple here. You can do a long swipe from the bottom, that brings up your app drawer, but if you noticed, as I was doing that long swipe, the recents came up as well. So you're not really saving any shortcuts, you're just doing once. I don't like this, guys. I've said this before in my other reviews. One of the things I hate about Pi is the way they did that. Now I know a lot of people out there that just love that, and kudos for you for that. That's one of the features that I just don't like. Now when you do go to recents, you can go to your last app by just swiping once, and that brings up your last app. If you swipe it again, it'll bring up your last app. Swipe it again, swipe it again. See, it just keeps going back and forth. Last app, last app. It does come with the double power button. Will turn on your camera. Of course, if you go into gestures, we'll show you that. If we scroll all the way down and we go into system and bring up gestures, you're going to see it has the adaptive edge. The adaptive edge is for your squeeze. So if we set up our squeeze sensitivity, I'm going to set it down a little low, and I can feel it actually vibrating in there. So squeeze is working, and I'll leave it right there, and then you can set it up for squeeze for your assistant, squeeze for silence. I'm going to have it set up for just squeeze for assistance and allow one screen off. So if we go here and I squeeze it again, your Google Assistant's going to come up, and then you can just go through settings on that. So now I'm going to go back into our gesture, and we are going to go to the let me see, next up is going to be your swipe finger print for notifications, and I like this as well. If I swipe down on the back with my finger, it's going to bring the recents up, and then again swiping again is going to bring up your quick settings panel. So if you swipe up, it'll get rid of everything. So I'm just swiping on the fingerprint reader. That's all I'm doing, swiping on the fingerprint reader. So that you can turn on or off. They do have jump the camera. Basically it's a double squeeze on the power button is jump the camera. Flip camera. To switch from regular to selfie mode, you just give it a quick flip. That does work. I may show you that when I go over the camera features. And then you have prevent ringing, and then flip to shh or off. So if your phone is ringing, basically if you just flip the phone over, it will silence the phone and cut the call off. Also works for alarms. You can set it up in your alarm to work for that as well. But those are your gestures in Pi. And again, guys, I went over all of these in a lot of my Pi ROM reviews. You guys can check them out. I'll try to put a link in the video description so you guys can go to them and check those all out. Now, if I could put a custom ROM on this, would I like this device better? Oh yeah, yes I would. And I do like the device. It's just got a lot of downfalls. We're going to go over that at the end of the video when I go over pros and cons. Sound settings, not much different in that. They do give you the extra call volume now and ring volume. That used to all be the same. Now they separated that. Everything else pretty much is the same in here. They have a part in here called digital well-being in the settings. Quite a few things that you can do in there. This pretty much lets you know what's been using your battery, what's been draining your battery. And you can go in there and actually change programs according to that just by touching on the color ring associated with the app. It'll bring that up, give you more information on that. That feature there I think is pretty cool. Your dashboard settings are here. You can change that around as well. Wind down, that's a new feature. Again, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You can set it a bedtime schedule to do things, like battery saver mode, things like that. For when you go to bed, you can also put on do not disturb, things like that. You'll have to set this up yourself. These are your settings for that: your start, your end, grayscale, do not disturb, and of course your night light schedule. Give a hue to the screen so it's easier on your eyes at night. That's pretty much it for that part. I just wanted to go over your digital well-being. That's something new to Pi as well. All the way at the bottom, you have tips and support. This is going to bring up the help page for Google. If you have any questions, go here. This will help you out with that. Also, if you want to get to something quickly and you can't find it in settings, just put a search in for it, like we'll say battery. See? Or a battery optimizer. It kind of knows what you're doing. So that's Pi in a nutshell. I wanted to quickly hit that. Now for novel features, picture in picture. Alright, when I left off I was showing you picture in picture and I had a phone call and I had to stop the video and get out of there. So I'm going to show you guys how to get picture in picture on this. But basically what you do is you have to find a video first. If you're playing something on Chrome, that'll work. If you're watching one of the videos that you have recorded, that'll work. I usually go to YouTube and I'll pick a video from one of my videos so I don't get a strike against me. We'll go right there. Now once that video is playing, all you have to do to go to picture in picture is hit the home button. Now you have picture in picture, and you can move that anywhere you want on the screen. You want it down here, you want it up there, so you can watch your video while you're doing whatever you want to do. When you're done with the video, drag it down and out. Now how about split screen? Well, if you want to do split screen, bring up your recents. On top of your recents, you'll notice they have these little icons. Well, touch the icon and you're going to get an option for split screen. I'm going to touch it. It's going to put that in split screen. It's going to ask me what other app do I want to run. And let me think here. Let's go to the Play Store. And now I have Google Chrome up top and Play Store at the bottom, and this is split screen. Here's that notch that I just can't stand, but it's there. You can get rid of that notch too. I'm going to get rid of the split screen. Basically, I'm just going to pull one down and I'm going to just go back into home. Now, if you guys want to get rid of this notch, that's easy enough to do. Go into settings, scroll down to your system. Now you want to have your developer options unlocked. Basically go into About Phone, scroll down to Build Number and tap it 7 or 8 times. Now once that's tapped, if you go into System, hit Advanced, you're going to see Developer Options. Now if you scroll down there, you're going to find it in the Drawings section in the Developer Options. Scroll down to the bottom of the Drawing section in Developer Options, you're going to find Display Cutout. Tap on that, you're going to get you're going to get options that you can choose. You can choose to go with a tall cutout, a double cutout, which puts a mirror on the bottom. You can go with a corner cutout, which puts another one over here. It's all stupid. Here, I'll show you. Look at that. I mean, is that stupid or what? It's just stupid. You can go with hide. Now that makes it basically look like the Pixel 2 XL. I mean, this now looks identical to my Pixel 2 XL. No difference whatsoever. If you didn't know from the front that it was a Pixel 3 XL, you'd never know that this, you'd never know. So if we go back to display cutout, we're just going to go with device default. That way you guys, can see it. I wanted to show you that little trick. Okay, I want to talk about the cons of the device. This is a big one right here. Now this is a glass screen. Google decided to go with the glass screen because it does have wireless charging. So you need a glass screen. You need something other than metal in order to do wireless charging. Glass works great. The problem is Google decided that they were going to frost the bottom half. This frosting will scratch off in your pocket if you have coins or keys. If they rub up against that, you're going to get marks all over that. Now I've seen some videos on YouTube showing people washing it off with soap and water. If you want to, be my guest. I'm not going to. But that's one of the things I just don't like. I don't like an all-glass phone anyways. I think they're nice. They're nice to look at. They're nice to hold. But I've almost dropped this phone so many times now, I can't even tell you guys. I mean, it's really crazy. Number 2, whenever you make a phone call on this phone, at least in my experience, if I'm on speakerphone, it cuts out really, really bad. And the person on the other end ends up telling me, is there something wrong? I think we're getting cut off. So I have to actually go to handheld, or when you put the phone up to your ear, and talk that way. I can't talk through the speakerphone or they can't hear me. Now, even on the internal mics on this, as opposed to the speakerphone, in a phone call, I've been told by the people I'm talking to that they still have a problem hearing. Google's got to fix this. Come on, Google. You know, I mean, you put out almost $1,000 device and you can't even place a phone call without it sounding like crap or people not being able to hear you. That's uncalled for. Number 3, this is my third gripe. While this has a phenomenal camera in it, and it's got a lot of potential, guys, I'm talking, you know me, I've tested so many cameras now on phones, I can't even remember all of them. This has got to be the best camera I've ever tested, ever, bar none. And it's really, really good. The problem is, if you're going to use this to make, say, YouTube content, or even if you want to just make a nice home movie and you plug in an external mic, it's going to give you a clicking sound in the background, and it's loud. It's not like you can go into post and dig it out, you know. That's not how it's going to work. It's in there, and it's in there for good. So the only way that you can do videos with this, and this is the February security patch. I have my SIM in. I'm not going to bring it up, but rest assured, I've been talking to somebody on Reddit. He asked me what my security patch was, and I showed him. So, I mean, this shouldn't be. It was supposed to be fixed on the January update. So Google knows that that's an issue, along with the calling issue, and it still isn't fixed. I'm going to be popping in video here and there so you guys can see what the video quality looks like in 4K, 1080p, front camera, rear camera, with mic, without, with an external mic, without an external mic. That way you guys can get a full-on idea of what this phone is like. Now, the positives, like I said, guys, camera. One thing I want to discuss or talk about on the camera on this, Google did not mention anything in their release or their pre-release that this was going to have hyper stabilization in it. If any of you know anything about GoPro and the GoPro 7, the GoPro Hero 7 Black has hyper image stabilization in it, and it is one of the most stable video platforms handheld that you guys have to see it. It just blows my mind. This device has that in it. You go look at the specs, it's not going to tell you in any spec sheet, and believe me, you can't find it anywhere. But in my testing and in a lot of YouTube videos that I've watched, it all confirms what I found in my testing, and that is that this phone has the hyper image stabilization built into it. Google talked about it. They talked about their AI being so good that their image stabilization was going to blow every other phone away in the marketplace. And they've done it. They have absolutely done it. If they can fix the external microphone clicking sound while you're recording videos, I don't think there's any other phone out there that can beat this one right now. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was long. You guys, if any of you have followed me for any length of time, you know I don't do short videos. The reason I don't is because I'm thorough. I go over everything. I actually had a script, guys. It's a 4-page script, and I tried to stick to it, and I couldn't. I mean, there were just things that I had to just go cut off the collar and discuss it that way. But can I recommend the Google Pixel 3 if you guys are looking for a new phone? Can I honestly recommend it? Yes, with one caveat. Google needs to fix the issues with it. They can fix it with software updates, absolutely. They've done it in the past, they can do it again. But right now, as it stands, if you need to use an external mic on your phone for video recording, you don't want this phone. Do I think Google's going to fix it? Absolutely. I give them 2 to 3 months. This will be fixed. Call quality, I'm pretty sure they're going to have that fixed. Again, within a month, maybe 2 at the most. This is their main bread and butter right now, and they are not going to go by with people complaining about it. Google's going to fix it. So with that being said, I can recommend this phone. It's on the pricey side, guys. This one here, $900. It's $899. If you get the 128 gig version of it, you're looking at $1,000, $999. That's a lot of cash to put out for a phone. OnePlus One has their phones that are not half price, but just, a little over half the cost of this device right here. And OnePlus One is really rocking the boat with their 6 and their 6T. So you guys need to look at them phones. Alright guys, I'm sorry I kept you so long. I'm going to close this up. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification icon down there next to the subscribe button. I want to thank all of you guys that have followed me for as long as you have. You are all awesome, and I will see you on the next video. Okay everybody, I am shooting in 4K, 30 frames per second, and I'm trying to do a pretty brisk walk. I want to show you the image stabilization on this Pixel 3 XL. Wind's blowing pretty good, but hey, I want to get this, I wanted to show you guys the stabilization. Number one, I walk with a cane. I walk with a cane because my balance was affected pretty bad by my stroke. So for this to compensate for all of that, and along with the shake that I have from that same stupid ass stroke, I think the image stabilization is outstanding. I mean, I'm going as fast as I can, and you guys can just barely see. I mean, I can just barely see in the screen when I really jarred hard. I'm in a pan. I'm using an external mic. This, in my testing, has had issues with the external mic. Making a clicking noise. Now I'm going to switch over to 1080p here real quick too. This is going to be the extent of my video capture with this device, I think. Oh, I took some video the other day I might throw into. Okay, we are now shooting in 1080p with the external mic, and I do have image stabilization on. Like I said, guys, I walk with a cane. So not only is this compensating for me trying to walk very briskly, but also that I'm walking with a freaking cane. And I'm not saying that for sympathy, guys. I'm trying to give you an idea of what the stabilization is working with. Alright, I gotta turn around. It is cold. It's very windy out. I'm hoping my microphone knocks down a lot of this wind. I do have a dead cat on it. And my cane, the rubber stopper on the bottom, I think is wore through. So I gotta replace that. And I think my grandson has been playing with it again, and he has the height. Enough stuff. Anyways, guys, that was a test of video footage in both 4K and 1080p, and I'm going to go ahead and shut this off now.